I gotta turn the music down. Good morning. Good morning, sunshine. Who gon' get who gon' get it this morning, girl? Girl. I you see my title. I'm gonna explain to you why this is never ending between those two guys. Scooby-Doo and Drunken Larry is never going to end right now. No, it's never going to end. Good morning, servant. Good morning. Oh, but let me tell y'all this, though. Is it me or is it a pattern going on in quite a few communities out here? Right? So, because I switch channels here and there and go over there and listen to that, and listen to this and watch that. So, you had the community going on with the super mayor. I'm going to start with that community, right? I still follow them. I actually go into one of the females' chat that runs a channel over there because she kind of reminds me of me. No holds barred. She let loose, y'all. I listen. The woman be roasting and let loose and everything, so it's almost like you got to come in her chat on needles and pins, okay? Because she be ready for you. So, but over in their community, it started off with a Super Tiffany mayor, right? Being corrupt as a mayor, in the public, the community came out, tried to prove it. They had Lori Lightfoot come in. And then they have this one activist out there called Jedi Brown. Jedi Brown went on an attack in his activist campaigning, going to people's homes, him and his people pulling up other people's information that they called doxing. And he felt that, he has the right to do so and the freedom of speech and all of that crap to do so, right? Pissed a lot of people off. Now, mind you, when they were having these town hall meetings and the village meetings over there, it seems to appear that they all were on the same page, which was getting Super Tiffany, the ex-mayor, out of office. And they went through an election, and then they ended up with this other mayor who they voted in and swear that, it was a cheating thing and all of this stuff. And now they don't like him. Okay, they sees that it's unfair that this guy is coming in. He's made his salary quadruple the times of what the salary was supposed to be at 50-something thousand. He's now collecting like 200,000, and then plus he has income coming in from another political seat that he holds. And yeah, okay, so moving fast forward with that community, right? Now it's calling out his dirt and blah, blah, blah. And mind y'all, when they had the open meat floor to the public, right? Now you got those people on there that went after Tiffany Mayer that is now saying that they are being bullied and doxed and all of this stuff from, the people who they was once riding with trying to get Super Tiff out of her seat. And like this shit is buku crazy, okay? So it's always like one in a batch, one or two out of the batch to me that lands themselves in trouble. I don't know if it's because of their, doing too much or, all of the overacting and or wanting too much out of the situation that is going on for themselves to be, I guess, possibly more publicized, become this celebrity. I don't know what it is. However, if you guys can remember, I posted, let me tell you, I did that shit. When that fight went down with the Jedi Brown guy and the other guy that was with him, I made a video on it. I pointed it out. I'm like, oh no, they like really started this fight with this in the meeting with Super Tiff and stuff. I saw the guy get up, point to the microphone, blah blah blah. I posted it on Twitter, right? So after that, I started noticing that, oh, people are pointing out the microphone thing, right? Now, Jedi has his funny ways of keeping his hands sort of clean, right? But here's my thing with this all. When you know that and I get it, people want to have, certain people do this ride or die thing with them. But somewhere along the way in your heart, you have to recognize, like, well, wait a minute. I didn't sign up for this shit. And you got to walk away. Kind of like some things that went on over here in the R. Kelly community, right? You got to walk away because you don't want that dirt or that stigma on you. Like, no. However, Jedi Brown continues to keep some of, his people on his right and on his back, riding, dying with him, right? But let me tell you what I noticed, but hold that thought. So, Jedi Brown is the guy who allegedly tried to attack the homes down there, who is allegedly accused of having non-consensual sexual relationships with the girl down in Vegas, right? However, he probably still pending, I guess, the case, but he's not the one that is having the attention on him from the courts, from the police, from the spectators anymore, or none of that. That was the biggest scene down there, other than the elimination of Super Team Tiff, because I'm still Team Tiff happy. Hi, Rachel, boo. Hey, girl. So, other than that, and they eliminating her, that's the second biggest action for me. Now, Jedi Brown took upon himself, and he did that notorious walk coming from where the Team Tiffany are down there all the way to Chicago, right? Didn't draw that much attention out. Didn't have that many people out behind him. It was dark. It was cold. Raining. They need water. So he did that right. But he made himself the whole center of attention down there, of being this allegedly activist that he is, right? Now, guess who is up in and out of the courts? Jedi Brown. Unfreaking believable, right? I'm like, what? People have literally pressed charges against him, brought him to court. There's lawsuits. There's this. Mind you, Jedi Brown got hundreds of freaking lawsuits all against the county down there and a whole bunch of shit. Like, it's crazy. Moving on from that story, right? Because it's like a freaking pattern now amongst these Black Americans out here that chooses to be an activist or, involved in this type of, bickery, this type of political stance, this type of freeing people, this type of Something is in the damn water. It's all I'm gonna say. Why can't any accomplishments be done without the fights? You can become enemy, but why do we have to fight about it and be in jail? So now, do y'all remember that one guy? What's his name? Donat, and I think that Bookham had him call in or something on one of his lives, right? And you guys remember the whole New York catastrophe, and protesting and advocating and all that stuff over there for Puff Daddy. Donat was one of the content creators also that was down. I swear it's Rachel. I told you, but when I'm on my main phone, Mom is going to probably call in the morning. My daughter's going to probably call in the morning. I literally have to be mindful and go to my other phone because that phone hardly ever rings because I hardly ever have it on most of the time. But I'm going to try to remember that, Rachel, because you be like, baby, ain't no sound, ain't no sound. And then my phone will ring, and I'm definitely going to answer the phone for my mom. That's going to happen. So, but with the New York situation, right? You got all these people down there. You got all of the content creators down there, right? Somehow, Nick at Night, she keeps herself out of all of this mess, and I don't blame her. So shout out to Nick at Night. But baby, when there are others that is on a demand, a high power trip of getting their story out, and somebody else say something that you don't like, and you don't like what they say, those are usually your two that is going to continue on a bunch of drama and waiting to have some type of effect behind it, right? Well, I don't know if you guys remember him, but I saw him when he was in this particular altercation with this one lady down there, right? And they were kind of going at it, but at the end of that day, they end up kind of, bopping it out. It's cool. Da, da, da. I mean, called each other's all kind of name and everything. And all of this was over different opinions about Puff Daddy. It was like weird. How do we end up? But I get it. Some people feels, sensitive. Some people feels that you're going to be all the way in on this, even though the relations between the relations of the person that is actually really going through it, you have no relations with that person. You just took it upon yourself to say, well, that's my brother, that's my uncle, that's my niece. I love this person, from infinity to back, right? And I get all of that. For some apparent reason, I don't know. I'm a ride or die. But baby, when I can see that you kind of at fault at some things or whatever, I'm falling back. You're going to have to handle this one on your own. You're going to have to be 100% clean, right, everything. For me to be like, okay, let me put my right foot out here and bag you up a little bit. But if I know that it's like some dirty and some funny business about you, even about your, like, go sit down some damn where. That's how I feel about it. Diffuse this. Go and put your ignition on pause. Just put on pause. Hold on. We can stop this, right? Because what's going on now, like I say, it's a pattern in every freaking Black American community that is doing content. It's going on, and it's like California wildfire. So I'm watching this one live while I'm getting dressed this morning. We're kind of listening to, right? And then she's like, doing that. And I was like, well, isn't that guy that was down in New York? And, he had his microphone and he was doing things. Y'all, why is this boy in jail too? Do you hear me? Over like literally some content stuff and a big fight and somebody, and he got picked up, and I'm like, what in the hell? So that's that community. Not only that, we also sat back and watched almost, or premeditated kind of altercation that could have popped off with, Sylvia and Bookham is down there. And then there's a restraining order, and there's this and there's that. It's only that I see in the Black community. I'm like, this shit is crazy. Now, if you go over, there's absolutely like four more other communities, right? And they're black. And they attack, 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 attack. Opinions are not like what they used to be when I was growing up. You make your opinion, the person scratched their head, you try to expound on your opinion to get it to be convincing to the person, or you show this behind your opinion and be like, da da da, and then we'd be like, oh yeah, well maybe that could be, wow, well we'll wait and see, blah blah blah. It ain't like that now here in 2025. Your opinion can definitely cause you to be into an altercation, which can possibly lead to a fight and possibly now lead you into jail. It's ludicrous. Nobody wants your opinion, because if your opinion doesn't not fit what the narrative is that they're putting out, then oh my God, y'all, when I tell y'all that they are pulling the weapon, it's crazy. So now we jump back over here into this community where everybody is watching it. I know y'all watching it too, right? And you have Scooby-Doo and Drunken Larry still tapping each other on the head. It will never end right now. Here's the reason why. When they are roasting each other, they both comes back with an explanation about particular things, even if it has come out in a roast. The other party is going to pick up on their explaining themselves, and then they're going to expound off of it, and then they're going to roast back. He's going to roast back. And when he gets done roasting back, I'm trying to figure out like who does it the worst, and from what I can see, Drunken Larry kind of does it the most. He will roast Scooby-Doo back, but then he'll come back and explain all of the stuff that Scooby-Doo has called out. And I'm like, okay, this is never going to end. Which means that if you're going to keep explaining yourself, you're giving him the gunfire to keep coming back and roasting on you. I'm like, okay, what part of the class did we miss on this one? But I watch it and I'm going, there's actually no winner. There's actually no winner. I'm looking. I'm looking at the resumes. I looked up Hard Knock Life. They both kind of fit that era. They both had struggles. They both been to jail. They both live with a woman. They both have kids. They both drive cars. What is the fight about? What is the fight about? Why is it necessary for it to keep going on? There's no way at this point that either one of them is going to prove to either one of them anything about their lives for one of them to say, okay, you win. All they're going to do is just keep calling out whatever discrepancies that they can hear or find in each other's story. This is exactly why they got to just kill the explaining. Just keep giving us the laughter out here and just keep roasting each other. They don't need y'all. When you're trying to explain yourself, it's almost like, listen here. We're done. I've explained it to you. This is what happened. It's over with. We're done. No, because they're not going to end. They're definitely not going to end. And every week or so, it's a different person. However, right now, it's only been two people that Scooby-Doo kind of been, tagging back and forth here and there. And that's that damn kaleidoscope over there who just, I don't know, wakes up every 20 minutes angry and types some shit. Her thing is, I at this point in her argument, right? In her argument, which I probably would toss out had I been a judge and she came with it, right? I toss it out. Because I have to keep asking myself every time I see it, what in the hell does her argument has to do with R. Kelly? Her argument is solely about Scooby-Doo allegedly doing some things that she says he has done to her. What does this have to do with R. Kelly? Can anybody explain that? Can anybody explain to me how is it that R. Kelly, the situation on what she was typing about, I guess, has to do with commingling it with anything about what Scooby Doo allegedly has done to her and she has also done back to him. Why are those two stories, R. Kelly's story about his life, about what he's going through, about his emotions, about his attorneys, about his ineffective attorneys, about his bad act witness, about his lawsuit, about has anything, somebody explain it to me. Because I promise you, I would have tossed her case out. It resembles the fact of what Sylvia and Bookham went to court when they went to court. I'm sorry, right? And what did they do? Start talking about the R. Kelly and the R. Kelly and the R. Kelly because we did this one. No, talk about what you and her and him and her only did to each other. That's what you need to do. I be watching some of Young Dolph stuff, but I just can't. It's too much. It's like entirely too much, and it's more so of the street, the real street stuff. Ti fan, the real street stuff, right? And you just gotta be super duper careful with that real street stuff, right? Because these niggas got people in every area code, boo. Be like, forget that gang banging stuff. I can't, I can't stand it. I can't stand the fact that most now the generation is young, pulling these guns and killing each other. Or I can't stand the fact that it can be over a woman. I can't stand the fact that it can be over money. And the reason why is because it is so many women in this world for everybody to have one. And it is entirely a lot of money out here for everybody to have some. So when I watch, that type of stuff going on, I'd be like, man, if this ain't some stupid stuff here, envy, jealous, all of that, and then you dead the next minute or you're in jail. I really like the MO3 soundtrack. I love his music. I like his poetic music. I like his spirituality, a vocal. You know what I mean? Like he has that church voice. I love that. But it's hard for me now. Ti fan. I listen to some of his music every now and then, even though I have listened to it all when I first started when he was dropping it, right? But after that killing of him over there on that highway, I kind of don't listen to it much because that I can see it clear in my head, and I kind of don't want that image. In that, I don't want to see that. But every time, if I'm in the car or Siri might play something, or if I'm on my playlist in there and one of his songs will come up, I literally have to fast forward because it was such a freaking tragedy of watching how he got killed live. That shit was crazy. And, scary too, very, very scary, love his music. But it's sad how, he went out on the highway, not even going on. Don't even, not sure if his weapon is in the car so that he can have some type of defense. And then this other guy gets out and, oh my God, the long rifle and run down the street and then run back to the car and get in it. That was crazy. Ti fan. But that's too hardcore for me, at some point, that stuff has got to end. But the last 10 years, the cycle of the washing has just flipped around to where it's nobody cares. It's so easy to just go and because I don't like you, I'm going to pull this gun on you and then I'm going to take your life. Weird. Even watching one show I saw where they even have no problem pulling up to the funeral home, finishing it off, blasting off everybody at the funeral home. Like, baby, and but I get it that people birth to those type of neighborhoods, and it's not that easy to sell a home, to move and things like that. But let me shit, I'd have been the hell up out of that damn stuff. And it's always seems to be like Georgia on the map, always Georgia, 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 some of New York, some of New York. I'm like, what the hell going on over there? All I know that it has become two of my states that will never be my favorite to reside in. Absolutely not. Even though you just got to find the right, community. Maybe far out on the farmland or something like that. I guess where it's not too busy or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's over here, like I say, and it's a pattern. It's a pattern. I'm almost convinced that as much as Black Americans like to call out, racism and things when you encounter a situation like that, I guess as they say, it's okay if we do it to our own, but others just can't do it to us. But as soon as you're taking out so many of our own, it is going to be what it is. We're left for them to do it to you. All of that arguing and bickering that you want to call out about, oh, they're racist and get your, but yet then that's all y'all going to leave left. It's for them. And they have no problem sitting back watching it happen. It be ludicrous. But the pattern of it is grown. Ever since, let me tell you when it's grown. Ever since these content creators, the Black ones especially, has caught a high interest because of YouTube. This is just my opinion, right? Paying you for your content, right? And so if you're watching several of these people running down, getting content off of people going to court because of a situation they got themselves in, you bring it back, you broadcast it on your channel, you get your nice big check. It's just like uh, uh, um, all these, the method, drinking, smoking, all that, it becomes contagious. Because now somebody else want to do it, and somebody else want to do it. So I'm trying to understand what is the big thing about chasing court hearings, recording them, put him on. I'm completely lost with that. I always thought, well, I grew up, it was, excuse me, I don't, it is what it is. I always thought it was like the white people thing to do, but the Black people then took over it. I'm going down to this trial, I'm going to cover this and cover that, and I'll be like, what the fuck? What the fuck for? At some point, I'll be asking myself, why the fuck do you care what's going on in those people's lives? Why is something like that has caught your interest to go every day? I mean, I said that even when, and I get it, Puff Daddy was this big celebrity and he's Black and he's, for the Black community, he's got the Black music and all that stuff. But when all these people, I used to grow up when I was walking downtown Chicago and I used to ask myself, I need people don't go to work. Realizing that it's 7 days in a week, and I get it. Everybody don't work every day of the week, but downtown used to be so packed and crowded around the Buckingham Fountain and nobody go to work. I'm like, this is crazy. And I was saying that about Sean Puffy Combs court hearings, right? Like, it was super packed down there. Nobody going to work. Nobody going to work. Everybody got time. You have time. How do they have all this time to go down there and stand out there like for hours and days, right? Mind you, I went downtown to support R. Kelly, but that was only going to be, what would we do? 2 days out the week. I'm going back home. I got to keep it moving with my life. I got to feed my dog, feed my kids. I got to pay my light bill, my water bill. I got to do all that stuff, right? And I went to two of the protesters down there and everything, but I had never planned on coming down there spending the rest of my dang on life, let alone bringing the content back out here on, to start and create big fights over this man's life. It's ludicrous, but I sit and I don't know how, even though I'm trying to remove some of it, right? And if I click on all the kaleidoscope stuff, it could go up the stream and I'm up the line. I'm like, what the hell? This was just 2 hours ago. Oh, this was just 6 hours ago. Oh, this was 13. Oh, this was 12. Like, you got all that. What the hell? Like, when do people goddamn sleep? When? What? And then it sounds like just verbiage now. It just repeats itself, repeats itself, repeats itself, repeats itself. Everybody in the freaking world by now should know that R. Kelly is in jail. Everybody should know by now that R. Kelly is fighting for his freedom. Everybody in the world should know now, if you're reading the paperwork and things of sort, that, hey, something wasn't right about this man's case. To make that determination, you have to read it and point out what your view of it is, and make your argument, about it, or find yourself some understanding as to why this has happened. Because at the end of the day, R. Kelly freedom lies in the hands of his attorneys. Not like this. Granted, I get it that the public can make loud noise and things of sort, right? But you really have to be dead locked into this fight, other than on YouTube, to make progress happen, if that's your stance. If that's the stance out here. So, I don't know. It's just weird. Fart Baby. What's going on, Fart Baby? I just looked down and seen Fart Baby in the house. Yeah, Ariel, Terry, good morning. But it's on all of these, it's in all of these communities. And it's got to be something that's in the water. It's got to be something where a person can sit back and reflect and ask yourself, what's making you so angry out here, where if someone else says some things about you, that you're ready to roll in the mud. Listen, there is a whole lot of things said about Papoose. My house went up. My kids got talked about. All of that, right? But that does not affect me. And I know we built differently, right? But it also gives you a choice in mind of whether you want to fight or not. Why would I fight about something that I know a person can't do anything about but talk about it? That made no sense. My fight, if you putting my child up to be derogatory against my child, and you actually come over here and you do some things to my child, now we have a fight. Other than that, the person can talk their ass off. You can't reach my child. You can't do nothing to her. I understand that you want to try to hit me below the belt to make me mad about it. I don't give a rat's ass. I didn't put my house up. Put it up. What you gonna do with it? I own that. I own that. You can't move in. You're not gonna come and pull up to my house and blow it up, are you? I mean, if you are, you probably get called, because I'm like most Americans out here that put cameras around every freaking where. But these people here, I don't know how they so become very sensitive about it, other than, oh, y'all just want to fight. Y'all just want to fight. I hear kaleidoscope when she says, well, nobody's done anything or whatever when he was putting my child up. I hear her. But what happened to the child? Nothing. Not absolutely nothing. Is the child getting phone calls or threats, or is it any other child that pulled up to fight your child? Is the baby kidnapped? Is the baby what? So that just tells me not only with her, because Scooby Doo retaliates back in that sense too. If you say or you do something or whatever about his child or about his female in his life or his job or his car, then he's ready to retaliate. It's weird. We watched Drunken Larry. Same thing. You spoke on his wife. You spoke on his child. You spoke on his car. You spoke on he don't take a bath because he in the truck all day and all that stuff. Now, how does that infuriate him? Now he comes back. Like this is romper room. I mean, if you know that you take a shower and you change your clothes, why am I arguing with this person? If you know that, and I get it, some of the argument is to belittle each other. They want to make each other feel small, like crumbs, but